you were talking when we got on about your background. So this is a really simple question to consider. Do you have a really cool background? Some organizations will say you only can use the very specific background. I am a never background because I have curly hair and it makes me look very odd when I
I
have a
didn't even think
background.
about that.
Oh yeah, it's like I have a helmet on and then I move my head and the helmet is shifted. It's very bad. It's very bad.
Is my head doing that at all?
No, no. Mm-mm. It's a
Okay.
curly hair thing, I
I
think.
worry a little, but if I go back, it does that. No, I'm our company does not have a formal policy that you must, which I like.
Yeah,
I like the idea of we're adults and let's think about it. I think in the early days of the Zooming and Teams or whatever Microsoft had then, we did have to have some pretty direct guidance and conversations because people didn't know.
yeah.
But now I think it's good to kind of trust it. I haven't used a lot of these backgrounds, but I just decided today was the day to do it.
That's cool. Well, I like that
So,
one.
but I think being really mindful of your background's really cool. You have this amazing piece of art, and the lighting's really good. That stuff does matter still. Keep that in mind, folks. It still matters.
Right, it does. Okay, so on screen or off screen on the Zoom, when is it acceptable to not be on screen?
Oh man, I think
What?
you should always be on screen.
Yeah.
If you're driving, so I was driving back from, right. So I was in
I'm
Grand
laughing
Junction
because
yesterday.
yesterday I was on screen while driving.
Hey, there's laws, different laws in different places. I just don't violate the law on your Zoom call.
Yes.
But we were visiting our branches out in Grand Junction, and I was driving back, and I wanted to be on the call to listen, and I didn't have my camera on. So
That sounds safe.
if it was a outside relationship, something, I do think you need to be on camera. I would have pulled over and been on screen in the car. I think that's important.
Every once in a while, when my day is Zoom to Zoom to Zoom to Zoom to Zoom, I will take 10 minutes to be off screen to have some popcorn and a Diet Coke.
Oh, I love that. So the eating rule. Don't
I'm
eat on
not gonna
camera.
eat. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat on
I
camera.
I will also encourage people not to eat on camera.
And I'll say it, I'll just say, this is a very busy day today, friends, and nourishment matters. Just know I'll be there soon.
Yeah, I think the other exception is like we've got a couple really like if informational calls where my participation isn't required, but I like to listen.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of people on the call, and in that case, I won't always go on camera.
yeah. Okay, so now you're at home. I know you've experienced this. You're at home and you're on the Zoom, and there's a situation with the tiny humans in your life.
Mhm.
Now what?
So you probably won't believe this, but I just had that happen, and you didn't see anything because I had the background. It's true. I did the wave off, which you can't see right now. Oh, so yeah, I think that that's the advantage of the background. Or you say, excuse me, they don't know if you've got to there's a live delivery or there's a kid that's interrupting any of those things. So
I think you've got to know your organization too,
yeah,
because I have been in organizations where the tolerance to that is almost none, and others where the tolerance is higher.
yeah,
And I think the other critical bit on both of these topics, right? Both the interruptions, whether it's human or pet or some other distraction, or eating, is about how often that happens, right? Like if it becomes the habit, if it becomes the norm,
yes,
then I think that becomes problematic.
absolutely.
Interesting. All right. So what about these little reactions? Do you use those in meetings? I think
Do
I'm doing right now.
I think that in this day of fast communication,
Yeah.
emojis and reactions have a place. And I love that you're doing that.
Yeah.
Imagine when you are on a call and you're presenting to a bunch of people and you don't see them because you're looking at what you're presenting, and you might be kind of, I still get like this. I get a little nervous and I'm not sure what other people are thinking. I invite the chat, I invite the hand, but I also really like the old applause or the thumbs up, just confirming that people are still engaged. It's similar to when, if we're in a conversation, the nod, the yes, you don't have that always advantage of body language, even if you're on screen, because maybe the person who's talking there's a focused view or they're looking at that, like the PowerPoint or whatever. And I really do encourage that type of participation.
Yeah. I will tell you, when I came to community financial, I was really impressed with how engaged our team is on the Zoom chat and meetings. It really is a next level of engagement that I hadn't seen before. Appropriate, fun, playful. It's good.
Yeah. I'm curious, do you send gifts to people through corporate, like, do you guys have Teams or
We have Zoom.
you have Zoom as like your instant message platform?
Yes.
Remember Instant Messenger?
No.
That was like an AOL thing, I think.
Was it?
Anyways.
I
Yeah,
don't think
do you send gifts and memes?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I do in text.
Okay. So more personal.
I think so. I I do LOL a lot,
Oh,
which I
like
think is
just
a
writing
signal of
out
my age.
LOL.
That's a
Okay.
signal of my age.
No, I mean I think that's good.
I don't know. It feels like an age.
Do you add the Z
No,
afterwards?
I don't. I
No Z.
no.
Z is for Gen Z.
Yeah, I think that's not for me.
So what about if you receive a GIF or a meme at in the corporate? What's your response? Or not like, yeah, like what are your perceptions of that?
Oh, I think it's great. And I find it interesting. I forget to do it. So if I get one, I might be more likely to send one in return.
I will admit I've spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to find the right GIF in
Oh,
response to somebody's. Yeah. Our
yeah.
team is heavy. They're heavy on the GIF because some of our topics are hard. And so it's kind of, you know, yeah.
I I think I know you know this about me. I worry a lot.
Yes. Yes.
And so when I see something like that, my immediate thought is like, well, I know that I am coming from a privileged role and from an authority position. And I'm always thinking, well, how's this going to be received?
Yeah.
I will tell you a very funny story, though, about this. I was reaching out to one of our leaders. We had a change occurring, and I wanted to understand how that was going for her. And she sent me an emoji in the text. I think it's an emoji. I get these. I'm so old. Mackenzie will be so mortified about how I'm talking about this. But she sent me something in the text that I didn't know what it was. I
Oh,
had no idea what it was. And to me, it looked like a camera, like a video camera of sorts. And so I didn't know what to do because I didn't know what it was. So I'm frantically Googling, but I didn't know how to Google it because I'm trying to describe it. What is the emoji that looks like a video camera? And nothing is coming up. And now it's time going by, and I take a lot of pride in responding quickly. So I like, I'm terribly sorry, but I must ask you what that is.
yes.
And
Sometimes, yeah.
it's the
What is
hug.
it?
It's the hug.
Oh,
But I'd never seen the hug.
I haven't seen the hug.
Yeah, so now I
Hmm.
know.
Okay.
But when I then so I was traveling when that happened, and we've subsequently seen each other. She said to me, I was crying, I was laughing so hard about the fact that she didn't know what the hug was.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know the hug. I would have done the same thing. So let me ask, if you're getting you get a message via Zoom in your
Yes.
workplace,
Yeah.
um, thumbs up is sufficient, or are we good with a thumbs up as the
I'm
final?
not.
You're not. Okay.
I feel like a thumbs up is almost like a middle finger. It feels to me like a blow off. It feels like I don't have time to type something to you. I don't like it when my
Okay.
family does it. I don't. I it feels. It feels very frustrating.
So I have to share something. Somebody on my team who has
Yes.
high emotional intelligence and
Yes.
comfort with giving me feedback
Yes.
told me this
Yeah.
recently because I will admit that I will thumbs up every now and again is like a
Uh-huh.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
great. But I felt like, and now I have to change everything about the way I look at the world, but I felt like I was doing them a favor because I'm giving them less to read.
Yeah. I think
But
it's super situational too. There are other people that do not like my husband. I can tell you for certain that is not. He feels the way that you are describing. Like save the world some time. We don't need to do that.
wow, I'm forever changed by this conversation and the feedback I received. It was like, there are some people who see that as passive aggressive. I
I
was like,
definitely do. I definitely do. Yeah,
I hope that person is going to listen to this. I'm gonna,
you could send it to them
I'm going. I definitely,
with a
yeah.
thumbs up.
Or they will respond with a thumbs up. I'm like,
Yes.
oh,
Now I will give you one. So there's someone on my team that this person has a lot of responsibility for a lot of tactical things on my behalf. And this person will send me a check mark that something's been done. And I'm good with that. That it doesn't feel
no.
passive
So you're
aggressive.
better with the check mark than the thumbs up?
Because it feels really different. That feels like I've done the thing. A thumbs up
Okay.
feels like
That's true. That's true. Yeah. The check mark is deeper.
I think so.
Okay. Well, the thumbs up is going away for me.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of it.
But what about like if there were like if you're on a group chat and
Yes.
somebody like shares something really good, same thing, like we can have 20 people saying, "Wow, that's amazing," or "Thank you."
No, I do think that's different.
What
And
about the
I
heart?
tend to, at least in email. For example, I sit on a number of boards, and there's a board right now where there's a lot of email happening, and there's a lot of, for good reason, support being shared with an individual, which I very much appreciate. And I will not respond to the all on that. I respond
Oh,
individually.
reply all.
Yeah, reply all is a very
Oh,
bad thing. It's a very, very bad thing.
yeah. If you're sending out a message to a lot of people, do you like have any advice for that? Like
Blind copy, blind
blind
copy.
blind copy?
Well, yeah, to everyone, right? So then
Yeah.
people can't
So then
reply.
there's no reply all.
Yes, you
Brilliant.
had to do that. And I am very careful. If I am the president and CEO of this credit union and I don't send messages to this team without somebody having read it before.
Okay.
Never, ever, ever. I use Grammarly to make sure I don't screw something up.
I was
And
gonna ask.
I have somebody else review. I do not, and I know there's a lot of controversy about this, including from my team. AI does not write for me.
You can always tell.
AI does not write for me. And I do think it's really important to have a lot of proofing because I miss stuff. I'm terrible. I'm an English major and I'm a terrible comma user. I screw that up all the time. I type fast, so I forget things.
So do you have that advice for like a young professional too? And at what point is the peer review? What would you advise there?
Think it depends on the importance of the message, right? If you're just shooting a message to a peer about a day-to-day task, don't waste time on that. And if you're sending a message to your leader that is about an important topic,
Get a review?
get a review.
Okay. You
And
heard it right
I
here.
also think I have to tell you, Ryan, and this partially is advice because of some of the subject matters I've had in my professional life. I still think having somebody in your life who is great at proofreading your work is extremely important.
Yeah, I would agree.
And there are people in the world who are great at that. And that's the other thing is you have to find somebody who's really good because some people might be good writers, but they're not good proofreaders.
Yeah, they don't have the patience or yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
I
real
I
it's
think
a real
Grammarly
skill.
is very, very helpful. It's not perfect and it likes to change things sometimes just so it can tell me it's changed something, which I'm not interested in.
I have to tell you, I've been using Grammarly for a little over a year, and I'm like, I just recently traded my laptop in, and
Uh-huh.
it's not set up on it, and I'm like, well, I'll see how it goes. It's been like maybe a week and a half, and I'm going to be putting in a request to add it back onto my machine because it is really helpful.
The thing I don't do though as a writer is I do not have it editing as I'm writing
Okay,
because I find that to be very distracting to the content. I'm a believer that you get vomit it all out and then edit. If you're editing while you're writing, you're losing the creative and thoughtful part of your brain.
yeah, it's interesting to think about like in the digital space, what medium do you use for what type of conversation or what
Mm.
kind of like maybe it's not a conversation, but um, that's something I think we're all faced with. If you
Yeah.
have different platforms, you've got
Yes.
email, text,
Yes.
God forbid a phone call, like where we
Right.
talk to somebody,
Yes.
in person.
Yes.
Um, so it'd be fun to go through a list. So if you are let's start with a lower level. You need to go on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Is that an email? Is that how would you recommend someone ask or make that request?
I think that depends largely on the relationship you have with your leader. For me, I would much prefer, generally speaking, that come to me in an email. I hope that the conversations I'm having with my leaders are not about their vacation. And I think most people, I think regardless of role, that would be true.
Yeah.
What do
One of
you?
the things that I've asked our team to do, and this is a few, it may have even been when you and I worked together, but putting it on the calendar after the conversation or you
After,
feel
do
like
not
you
do that ahead of. That I find to
no,
be
no,
highly irritating.
no. And don't block. Don't
Ooh.
make it like, you need to show it
Oh,
as
yeah, that's
free. Do you know what I'm
terrible.
saying? Where you're like, and
No.
people are like, I saw that you're blocked. I'm like, no, that's somebody else's vacation.
I that makes me bananas. That makes me bananas. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. But I'm also terrible, Ryan, with Zoom. That's our how people can chat here at work. I if someone
You
sends me a
over chat.
Zoom, but if someone sends me a Zoom, I'm very likely to not see it for days.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm the opposite.
Yeah, I'm terrible. If someone really wants me, this is the best way.
Like a text or a phone call.
Yes, text. Although I'm a phone call person. I love to, you know me. I'm so social. I love
Yeah.
to talk to people.
Do you drop a voicemail into people's inbox?
No, never.
Or like, the voice, what about a voice chat?
No, no, that's a hard pass. No, no, no.
We have listeners. They're like, wait, I love that.
Yes.
There are people, it's kind of a cool thing. Like
Yeah,
people will drop the
that's a
voicemail.
preference. I am not at this moment giving advice. I'm just telling you that is not for me.
It's not for me either. I don't
No.
want to listen to things.
Well, I do keep things. I keep voicemails. I have some from when I earned this position and people congratulated me. I still have saved some of those.
You do?
I do. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I love to be able to hear people that I care about. There's so many people all over the country that I have deep, deep respect for that I don't get to see very often, and being able to hear from them is lovely.
Absolutely. Yeah, the phone. Yeah, I'm a bigger fan of that. But then it's like this could have been an email.
Well, and
You
I'm very
know,
guilty of the TLDR. I love a good thesis. It's
that's
bad.
awesome.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. Well, one piece of advice before we wrap up. People thinking about the way they engage digitally at work.
Hmm. I mean, I think it's no one thing works. No one means of communication works. We have to be mindful that, if it's something more serious, take a more cautious approach. Um, I don't know. Does that feel like good advice?
Yeah, I think that's smart. I think it's also really important, and I believe this to be true about lots of questions about your career, both early stage and all the way through to maturity, which is certainly where I am. I might be post maturity,
Oh, come
is
on.
be true to who you are. Yeah, well, certainly within boundaries, right? Don't, I'm
Without
not
politics.
advising take this too far. And I think it's important to be who you
Yeah,
are.
agreed. If you
See,
get energy from a certain way of communicating, then
yes,
jam it.
yes. Okay. All right. High five.
Watch